Good morning, Mitch. Today, Chicago's new mayor will inherit what his predecessor called a state of emergency. One of Mayor Lightfoot's final acts as mayor was to declare a state of emergency in the city of Chicago. She says that her administration has cared for more than 8,000 migrants since August alone, and more are on the way. In her emergency proclamation, Lightfoot warns the crisis will likely deepen before it gets better. She says, quote, "The city of Chicago is in the midst of a national humanitarian crisis, and through a unified effort in accordance with its values as a welcoming city, Chicago is doing everything it can to respond to the urgency of this matter." Now, that falls squarely in the lap of Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson as he takes his oath of office as the city's 57th mayor this morning. He's a progressive who once called for defunding the police. Still, he defeated the so-called law and order moderate Paul Vallis in the runoff election, despite crime being a top concern for many Chicagoans. Murders are down 14% year over year, but robberies, aggravated batteries, burglaries, and theft are all up. And car thefts are through the roof, up 130% since this time last year. Chicago police are waiting to see what his leadership will actually look like as they fight rising crime and shelter migrants in their departments. Mr. Johnson has since backed off those statements of defunding the police, saying he wants to steer more funding toward social services that could prevent crime. Chicago police are waiting to see what his leadership will actually look like as they fight the rising crime in their departments. So far, no official plan yet from the incoming mayor to address the migrant crisis, but he's calling for more state and federal resources to help. In New York, the same thing. Governor Kathy Hochul writing to President Biden Friday, asking for the federal government to build shelters on federal land. She says New York City's shelter system has already exceeded capacity, with nearly 37,000 migrants now sheltered at 120 locations. Governor Hochul writing, "I have determined that this incident is of such severity and magnitude that effective response is beyond the capabilities of the state." Texas Governor Greg Abbott has vowed to continue shipping migrants to Democratic cities like Washington, D.C., New York, and Chicago. Mayor Lightfoot pleaded with Governor Abbott to stop sending migrants to these cities. Mr. Abbott says he will continue to do so until President Biden secures the border.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.